right, guys, here we are on the map. Good luck, have fun. Going down for Grubby. Wondering if we're going to see... Oh, there it is. There it is. 6 good lucks from his opponent. Guys, in the bottom left, the man himself, who was just saying those things. Green Protoss player from Team Grubby. It is Grubby, who apparently has 700,000 followers
on the Chinese Twitter.
Yeah. Wonder how many he has on Chinese Facebook. Xiaonei. Guys, in the top right, Blue Terran player from Evil Geniuses. Looking to tie this series up, it is DeMuslim.
DeMuslim versus Grubby. Good old PvT action here. And just for anyone joining us, of course, we are in the round of 8. The top 2 from this EU qualifier will actually be given that spot on the foreigner team out at the GOM World Championship. Because of some initial miscommunication about the amount of people that would actually be decided from these tournaments, the person who actually places 3rd in this event will still be given a seed into IPL 5. So they'll still make it out one way or another.
Definitely advantages to doing well in this tournament, guys. We're going to find out who's going to be moving on here. The gentleman in the Netherlands, or will it be the Brit?
Living at the Evil Geniuses lair itself. But
fantastic place.
Have you been there?
No, I haven't. But it looks, yeah, I guess that would imply that.
Yeah, I didn't know.
No, it looks, yeah.
I was curious.
It looks awesome. Really, actually, it's like my favorite of the team houses if you're looking at them.
I always liked the
compel Infinity 7 to get one.
The former Slayer's house was always kind of the swankiest and coolest to me. I always thought it was really neat up in the skyscraper and everything like that. But then again, I always wanted to live in a high rise for some reason. Yeah. Always did, my whole life. Yeah.
You just want to look down on people?
Yes. Correct. I mean, I do. I'm taller than everyone, so. No. Anyway, let's see here as DeMuslim, once again, going for a 1-rack Castle's Fast Expand. Of course, we can't really predict what Grubby's going to do initially. Decided to open with a Proxy Warp Prism last time, 4-gate opening. He didn't save up that much Chrono Boost because he needed a delay until the Warp Prism came out basically exactly as soon as Warp Gate technology finished. Yeah. So we'll see if he has something similarly tricky up his sleeves here, or if he's going to go for a little bit more standard play. The map is, of course, in Tomb Valley. It's a 4-player map, but it's very large. And it's pretty easy for games on this map to really go into the very late game. You don't usually see PvT on it, though.
Yeah, you know, Terrans tend to like this map because you can turtle up so much. And if you look in almost any matchup, it's like, oh, actually, I can just take 3 bases, make siege tanks, and sit around and do nothing. Protoss tend to like it because force fields are awesome at cutting armies in half when they're running between their natural and their 3rd. So what happens when you have a Terran who really likes taking 3rds and a Protoss who really likes abusing 3rds? You have a game that probably points itself even a little in the Protoss's favor, which is why I want to know what DeMuslim is thinking of doing here.
Well, I would imagine he has something pretty specific for it. He's decided to go into double gas a little bit quicker this time. He decided to opt for single gas last go-around, if you guys remember, after his initial 2 racks after the Gasless Fast Expand. Actually, he went CC first, I guess I should say, so had a little bit different path to go about things. Grubby, of course, is changing things up significantly, decided to get Warp Gate, decided to start getting his Stalkers online, and then powered ahead with his Nexus very quickly. So no sort of quick 1-base shenanigans out of him this go-round. He could still very easily follow this up with something like a 3 Nexus 8-gate push or something, but we'll see what his intentions are going to be going forward.
Yeah, we will have to wait and see. Gas is just finished for DeMuslim. And I want to say I would have really liked to see him build those actually at his natural expansion, Kevin, because the timing, it finished exactly when the command center finished, and that would have just been really cool. But either way, Grubby, he is working on that robo, will likely throw out, well, maybe not. Maybe, I was thinking he'd go for an observer, but it's entirely possible. Now, you know, Protoss players, of course, do love just building pylons everywhere. They're extremely useful, and that is actually a great position to have a pylon to scout drops.
Not only to scout drops, but also gives you a lot of flexibility because you can warp in things behind the line of sight blockers and things like that in the banana hallway. Yep. And make sure you're going to be extra sneaky if you want to put on pressure if you're staging units up over to the right here. But you're right, any medevac shenanigans to make their way out, Grubby should be ready for. He did decide to go Robo first into double gateways, so excuse me, we'll see what he does here in a second. Of course, getting an observer. If you decide to go for double gate before Robo, usually either, depending on when the gates come down, you're either feeling like you have a lot of pressure or you've got a pretty good hold on what your opponent's doing. You want to go up after that. That Robo comes down first. Usually build that observer just to make sure you have exact knowledge of what your opponent is doing.
Yeah, we actually saw a lot of players opting to open. You just open with the 2 sentries and you're super safe. But Grubby even went for 1, of course, because he did get the scouting information that he needed. Factory on the way for DeMuslim right now. He's going to be working his way up to likely some medevacs. Drop play is just so effective on this map. So many different angles to hit from, especially when Protoss is starting to take their third.
Now, we do have a very early robotics bay from Grubby, but I guess the question is, are we going to see that just 6-gate, no forge, 2 Colossus push with a Warp Prism reinforcing at the front? Are we going to see a double forge here in a second and a Creator Prime style just go up to 3 base? Remains to be seen here. A pylon is dropped outside of the third, so at least he'll have some sort of knowledge as to what's going on. It looks like he is starting to break down the rocks now.
Yeah, you know, Colossi definitely going to be on the field. I mean, with the finished completion of this robotics bay, but I do think we're going to be seeing the third. That pylon positioning, if you want to use it to see drops, you tend to go more towards the middle or even towards the bottom a little bit. But with how forward it is, I don't know, I'm just expecting a third. There's the double forge we were talking about. And I'm waiting for DeMuslim to make a move here. You know, his medevacs, I believe now, are on the field. Or is he just not making any? Because his starport's definitely done.
Just
he
started.
Started. Okay. So, yeah, either way, guys, +1 on the way for him as well. We're going to have a very invested Grubby here into macro and tech, so he will be a little bit vulnerable for some time.
This looks like a good old-fashioned normal PvT, though. Nice catch of the Observer from DeMuslim. Clears up his opponent's vision for a while, but of course his opponent has seen everything that needs to be seen up to this point. Grubby, of course, may not catch sight of this next expansion that's coming down. But he can see the units that are actually going after the destructible rocks. First Colossus finishes up now. We are moving over to 6-gate with Robo. But like I said before, this is the more Creator Prime style, which involves chrono boosting out upgrades and getting a significant upgrade and macro advantage over your opponent. So I would not be surprised to see, say, 3 Colossi along with 2-2 and then push out as a third is taken. But DeMuslim may not want to let that happen.
Yeah, he's going to be trying to make a move here, but Grubby has a sizable sentry count. So with a lot of energy, so he's got a lot of time here to make a good split happen. If he can catch a good portion of DeMuslim's army on the high ground, I think he also did complete extended thermal lances already. So if we take a look at that Colossus range,
nope,
in fact,
just started.
no. All right, well, this is going to be a little bit dangerous for Grubby, but honestly, I mean, it's going to be, it looks like, yeah, there's no medevac circling around or anything like that, so nothing to rip his forces in half. It's going to be very easy for him to decide how to defend this, and there's no third that really is in position to scare him, so.
These destructible rocks are a portion of the way gone. DeMuslim wouldn't take that long to knock him out if he decided to. But, of course, the longer he sits around and waits, the closer we're going to get to 1-1 upgrades for Grubby, the closer we're going to get to extended thermal lance, the more Colossi that are going to be on the field. Grubby actually going up to a total of 8 gates, I believe, if I can find the other one warping in. Yeah, so 8 gates off of 2 base once again. Very, very aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, this could actually just turn into a really powerful 2-base play, with +1/+1 extended thermal lances, quite a number of Colossi, and as you pointed out, a significant number of gateways. We're going to find out here in a second, but it looks like DeMuslim really going to be committing to a play here in just a moment, and wow, Grubby totally sees this. I think he had an observer, actually. Yeah, flying over the pit out front.
Okay, well, DeMuslim now trying to make his way around the side. Grubby can't quite see out that far, but it doesn't look like DeMuslim wants to do anything. He has actually stopped his opponent sitting on 2 bases for now, and all the while, DeMuslim's been powering up on a third. The orbital command's just about to morph in. He's got a way more well-developed economy, and if he can continue to contain his opponent and sit back for a while, he'll actually leapfrog ahead in economy very quickly.
All right, well, Grubby's starting to take out these destructible debris. Expect him to take a third in just a moment. And honestly, I mean, I don't think Grubby's too concerned with being down on bases for a moment or two, because his upgrades are looking so fantastic. I mean, he's going to be finished 2-2 here before DeMuslim finishes his +2 attack and barely starts his armor. So it's going to be looking great on upgrades.
Nice job. I mean, just little touches to keep every Marine alive there against a Zealot that was coming out to attack, and then get away with everything alive.
Yeah.
I mean, that was pretty clever play from DeMuslim, I have to say. He's building 4 more barracks right now, so he's going to be on 9. He's got a second starport. This is looking like a very normal, traditional later game Terran army. Of course, we'll start to see ghosts added on as soon as he picks up on any sort of a hint of Templar tech, which he is actually, I believe, going to find out. Well, maybe not, but that factory should get over to the left in time.
Yeah, it is tucked away all the way in the back. But +2/+2 is finishing here for Grubby. Now, he could make a move here, but honestly, with his position. His third's not that far behind. Whether he knows this or not is up to question, but expect the third. Actually, how many workers does he have? That's definitely going to determine a lot. And he's got 56. That's a pretty low count. You know, if he had been powering out probes the entire time, we can actually see he's sitting on 1,400 minerals right now. Grubby's macro is quite lackluster at this moment.
Well, I mean, he does have 8 gates to take advantage of this, and it looks like he was sitting back and just kind of pumping out Colossi, pumping out upgrades, and making sure that everything was alive so that at the drop of a hat, he could decide to just put down a bunch of units if he wanted to. Because sometimes Protoss players will play like Zergs in that regard. Just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait. Oh, there's some pressure. Billions of units. And just kind of go for those in cycles. For now, though, DeMuslim does have a very powerful army out. The Observer sees everything, and it sees the continued reinforcements. And with Storm most of the way done, we're likely to see Templar here. There are actually 2 out on the map, but it's still another 30 seconds until Storm finishes up.
Yeah, and we still need a Ghost Academy out of DeMuslim. This is going to be an important attack for him. Forcefield's going to cut a good portion of the army, actually. I can't see this attack succeeding well for DeMuslim at this point, though the Vikings on the high ground are picking off all these Colossi. Oh no, Grubby going to be losing the huge majority of his splash damage. We can see now he's warping in Templar. But where did the other ones go? Oh, they're actually still here. Have they dropped anything yet?
A couple of them did actually use feedback. I was about to say that was brilliant position of those Vikings. And DeMuslim's actually starting to win this pretty convincingly. I mean, he's got to make sure he doesn't get behind the photon cannons. He can't get into the range of the splash damage of the Templar right now. But otherwise, he's certainly done his damage, and he can actually duck into the natural and maybe even take out this Nexus.
We're about to find out. Warping in 4 Zealots on the low ground to buy himself some time. DeMuslim going to come forward with the Storms. So many units dying for Grubby right now that are so important. In fact, I think he's going to end up losing just far too much here. We see he's down to 100 supply. The real thing behind this, DeMuslim is taking a 4th, Kevin. He's continually reinforcing this army. And while the initial engagement did go well, losing all that splash just killed Grubby.
Yeah, I think DeMuslim's got this one in the bag now, as he's got over 110 supply advantage. He's got complete control of the map. He denied his opponent's natural. And Grubby certainly going to make a go of this and try and take out this army. But he doesn't just need to take out this army. He then needs to charge the army across the map and kill his opponent, because he doesn't have any ability to reinforce. Look at this, as DeMuslim runs in another huge set of stimmed up units. He'll start taking his way through these photon cannons. He's surrounded his opponent's army. He eats a big force field there, but DeMuslim just has way too much stuff. And ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be all she wrote in game number 2.
Well, it looks like, yeah, Grubby now at a 44 supply deficit. Gonna have to tap out. GG. Yes, he does. And, I mean, not too surprising, honestly. I feel like DeMuslim has, like, really good confidence going up against Grubby. Statistically in the past, he's done well versus him. He's like, all right, I know I can beat this guy. Like, I just need to play at the top of my game. And he did so that game. He played extremely well.
Looks like they're moving to the Korean server for game number 3, so I don't know if these games were played where the players were at. Grubby may have been there when he was casting or something like that. I'm not really sure. But the account that DeMuslim's about to use is Barbecue Man. So, yeah. I don't really know where that comes from. Anyway, guys, we're going to run to a commercial break, and while you're away, enter to win these gunners, as the line PPKs can be yours if you win our contest. It is open to U.S. residents. If you want to enter to win those, head over to IGN.com/IPL giveaways. Again, IGN.com/IPL giveaways. When we get back, guys, it's going to be time for game number 3.